Hi, everybody. I'm back a few minutes later. I actually decided to do back-to-back videos, especially since I have the house to myself right now. And there's been something else that I've been thinking about because of the dieting. You know, the closer you are to the goal, the harder it is to lose. But as long as I'm going in the right direction, I'm happy. I wasn't happy. I gained a pound this week, but so I guess this isn't a huge secret. It just hasn't really come up. But one of the reasons I'm into my nutrition, and I wish I was more into exercise, but we'll just leave it at that, is because I had bariatric surgery. And it's going on 10 years now. And I've managed to keep the weight off. I lost about 80 pounds. And I managed to keep that off, for the whole time, except a little fluctuation. I've never gained more than maybe 8 pounds back, but then I worked on getting back down. I will tell you this, though, I've never really made the actual goal that I wanted. And I think I was happy just to hear the doctor said, you know what, you look fine. I think you're just fine. And then last time, and I put about 7 pounds on, and I saw the doctor, and then all of a sudden he's saying that, well, you know, you could lose 10 or 15 pounds. And I'm like, but I only put like 7 on, so that is definitely not girl math. In any case, that's fine. I've had a great working relationship with this bariatric surgeon, and I go every 6 months to just get a little checkup, and every year, I guess, of those appointments, every other appointment, I also see a nutritionist. And I think it's a bariatric clinic, but they don't just do surgery. They also just offer weight management, weight loss options. They have nutritionists to talk about just losing the weight. And so whatever weight loss journey you're on, they're a really important part of this. There are a lot of people who cannot lose weight by themselves because, well, they may be their own worst enemy. They may have a family that does not support this. You know, I mean, if you're the only one on the weight loss journey in the family and you have to cook for everybody and they expect everything that you always made before, that's going to be hard to get their support. For me, my ex did not want to go down that journey with me. So I let them know, I'm done cooking for a while. I will cook and you're welcome to eat what I'm having, but this is what I'm having. And it may not be rabbit food, but it's certainly not the cornucopia of food, the feasts that were on the table. I was never really a huge eater, but the bigger I got, the more I did eat. But I was always good at cooking for 4, cooking for 6, and putting leftovers in the fridge for a while. So I learned all these bad habits from other people as well. But stuffing my emotions, having a difficult childhood, can go through the gamut of excuses. And just to throw one more in, I don't think I was as bad of an eater as I could have been, but as a diabetic, I was on insulin. And once I started insulin, it started to creep up, those numbers. Insulin's almost designed to keep you heavy and on this roller coaster. So I yo-yo dieted for a long time until I definitely hit my peak, and I was just like, enough. And I still wasn't at a BMI that some doctors would do surgery for. But my doctor said, listen, you're a cancer survivor at the time. You are a diabetic, and it's not going to get any better as far as the diabetes. You know, my diabetes was kind of hard, and I had sleep apnea. I was on a CPAP machine. I was taking insulin every day for maybe 15, 20 years. And now I take 2 pills a day. I take 1 injection of Trulicity every week, and I no longer need a CPAP machine. But I am on the edge of that. Like a sleep study shows that, hey, you could afford to have a CPAP machine, but you don't necessarily need one. Whereas before I really did. And I had a CPAP machine for probably 4 or 5 years. And there's a freedom of getting rid of that. Some people can't. It's not always about somebody's weight, but for me it was. I think people have really stopped taking care of themselves in general. Newer generations, I should say. We have this new body positive movement. We have fat activists. We have all kinds of campaigns for fat, body positive people. I believe we should be body positive because we don't love ourselves enough as it is. But we should love ourselves at any weight. But that doesn't mean we have to stay there. Now, having said that, I am not talking about an older generation that cannot lose the weight because of their age. I mean, it is very hard for me now. And my doctor said, you probably won't make the goal that I had originally set for myself because now you're fighting your age. But I know one thing, I will never gain it back. And I would rather see people be loose skin positive than fat positive. You look on YouTube, there's a lot of fat activists out there that are dying. I don't understand it. When I was a kid, I was overweight. And my Aunt Doris ended up having to make me some clothes. And they were like stretchy seersucker clothes that maybe we would call them yoga pants today, but back then that was embarrassing. And she made them in bright red. Okay, so can I tell you? And one in blue and white gingham check. Nobody wants to see a basketball in gingham check. Okay, I have a quick editor's note. I meant to actually add that the red clown pants that Aunt Doris made me matched perfectly with Grandma's sweater vest that I wore a white dress down, button-down shirt with. In my day, sweater vests were all the rage. So she made them with like a red border to match the pants, and then these horizontal stripes in all different colors. Oh, cringe. I actually found that photo a few years ago and I was like, I thought I got rid of you a long time ago. I was so embarrassed. Nobody is ever going to see that now. It's gone. Just dust. Okay, back to the video. So I was mortified, but there was no other options. My mom was nice and skinny bitch. I got my thighs from my dad. We went to Lane Bryant even, and I'm like in 5th grade. Everything was like, the pants were all too tall and nothing fit me right. Nothing fit me right. They were made for an adult body. Today, you have Torrid, you have lots of other options, which is great. Not everybody's weight issues are because they are overeating, but most of them are. And when I was that fat kid, I got teased a lot. I look now, and every other kid is fat and fatter than I was. What is going on? It is much harder now. It's much harder to take care of your kids when everybody in the house has to work. We don't have that one income family where mom stays home and cooks the meals. There's a lot of garbage out there. It's way too convenient to get to. And the other thing is the fat acceptance movement. So you can look it up on YouTube and see these people. You'll see some things you don't want to look at. I'm not judging as far as you're fat, you're not. I've been there. I know how hard it is. But I'll be damned if I was ever going to get into a bikini and parade off on camera for millions to see. You won't even see that with loose skin. You're not going to see me in a bikini, like ever. I'm not even going to see me in a bikini ever. Hi, Gloria. I just feel like we should be as healthy as we can be. And don't tell me healthy at any weight. Because your heart is working overtime. You cannot be large and healthy. I don't care how great you feel. The heart is working harder to pump that blood into farther regions than it had to do before. And there's a list of it. I'm not going to go on. I'm not here to criticize all of these individuals, but they're kind of in denial, you know? I think if I had not had the surgery myself, I don't think I would be here. I don't know if I could have done that for another 10 years. Anyway, if you're big, just don't get on camera and wear a thong. I have such a wrinkly ass. I can't even imagine myself doing something like that ever. But if you are a bigger person, consider just taking care of yourself. Good health at any weight is possible, I guess, but you want to put the odds in your favor, that's all. And there are people that I know that were huge and lived well into their 90s. I mean, sometimes that's about genetics. I just had bad genes. My father lost a leg to diabetes. My grandmother lost both legs and was blind. My mother had cancer. I mean, I had the odds against me for a very long time. I'm probably one of the very few people in my family on my father's side that has my sight and my feet. I don't have a lot of neuropathy, but yeah, I have a little bit. That can be age too. Well, it's not, but you know, as we get older, the circulation doesn't really go to the far reaches so much anymore. So it's probably the diabetes, but it will get worse eventually because of my age. But you just do what you can, you know? And if you can't lose weight, just make sure you don't gain any weight. Obviously, I'm talking to you whether you have cancer or not, because cancer feeds on sugar. So remember that. If you have cancer and you're eating a lot of carbs, that is sugar. And that is another reason why I'm watching carbs right now. Yes, I want the weight loss, but I'm a little concerned that, you know, I'm at a certain place and I don't want to, I don't want to feed the cancer. Okay, I think that is what needed to be said. I also want to reach out into the mailbag again. And now for a question from Snuffling Hedgehog 8595. I was asked how Chris and I met. Oh, that's a story. Let me see if I can rustle up an answer with the hubs. So, Chris, we have another question in the mailbag. Somebody would like to know how we met. You You know, I'm always telling this story. Kind of think you could take a stab at it this time.
Well, I was working at Subway.
Which we have a lot of people outside the USA. So Subway is a sandwich shop.
Subway's worldwide. I think everybody knows what Subway is.
There's somebody asking me what a cheesesteak is, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so Subway sandwich shop.
So, yeah, I'm working at a Subway sandwich shop. And as usual, when I'm making conversations, I'm complaining about what's playing on the awful Top 40 radio. And somebody,
Oh no.
this customer comes in and
That's
tells
really
me
the way you do it? Okay.
that
This is not my version.
she actually knows some of the people that work at that radio station.
Oh.
This is not your version. No,
This is
we
definitely
don't need
not.
to go with this one.
No. We'll go with it. Go ahead.
Anyway, and she told me what she did for a living and why she was on the radio. So every time she came in, I was like, I should really talk to her because I'm really interested in that. But literally for years, I did not. And my coworkers always encouraged me to talk to her, and I never did.
Huh. I never heard quite that version.
Mm-hmm.
My version is I worked down the street from said Subway sandwich shop, and I frequented there, would pick up a sandwich for work, saw this person who was unnamed for years.
I wasn't unnamed. I had a name tag.
I never saw your name tag.
It was on my hat.
I never saw it. I never looked at it.
Mm.
You were just that sweet kid. We say kid.
Wow.
That sweet young guy. Yes, in case you didn't know it, Chris is a little younger than me. Okay. A lot younger than me, actually. But, you know, I'll brag about that later. So, one day, out of the blue, I looked at him and said, you know what? He's kind of cute. I don't know where that came from, but that was the end of it. Then I wanted to talk to him.
That was the end of it.
Well, that was the beginning of it. And my church was having a fundraiser, and I needed a little bit of catering for it. I wanted pinwheel sandwiches, like wraps that are sliced. And I asked if they could do it. I did not know that you were going to be in charge of that project.
They don't do it.
They don't do it. You just do it.
Yeah, it's not something that Subway offers.
Oh, that's sweet. So I sat down with Tina and we worked something out. I guess she knew you were going to do it. And then I find out later that you were home practicing. You must have eaten a lot of sandwiches.
No, I only went through like a pack of wraps, and the kids were over, so we had them. It was fine.
Yeah, shaking their head.
I was always making them wraps and sandwiches and stuff. I didn't have a very big kitchen at the time, so.
Okay, so that sounds like it's clear on the questions. We've got a lot of comments about our chemistry together. I think you need to be my sidekick a little bit more often.
I'm your sidekick, huh?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I know you want to have your own YouTube channel, and this would be a great way to introduce you. And we can certainly ask my subscribers to take a look at what you have to offer and also recommend, because YouTube has a referral system.
Right.
I'm not exactly sure what it is or where it is, but they do. I've heard. Anyway, you all agree Chris has a great voice. That has been said before. It would be great if he did audiobooks and things like that. And we had talked about him doing them on YouTube. So we'll let you know how that comes about. Okay, I'm going to close the video. Have some things to do. Love you lots. Be blessed. Bye.